late for making me play video games just because I started streaming. It says I should be playing video games.
I'm so awful.
Playing video games in the stream, record and play West Loathing.
I know. I'm just horrible.
I was peacefully reading forum posts about programming, but now I'm playing a video game. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, man. Oh, boy. I don't know if anybody was here last night. I know some people were. But I tried, like, for 45 minutes to get into that Steel Circus game to get one round, and I couldn't. I literally tried for, like, almost an hour last night to get one round of that game. What an alpha, man. What an alpha. Oh, well. At least I got to play one of the beta keys that I had, so I have that going for me. But it's time to settle down and play this funny-ass game. That's still a little loud. There we go. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to West of Loathing. It's been a couple days since I played this game, so I completely forgot what I was doing. But I think that I can probably give something to Florence that'll level her up. If I remember, I had that going for me. And I did. Okay. I found something for you, Science Junk. Okay, so she's been leveled up now. She can now do a Science Blast. Isn't that a Sonic game? I don't remember. Anyway, I think last time I was here I was going through the guest rooms, and basically beyond that, I don't really remember what was up. Let's just quickly kind of take stock of where I was here. I think I had, yeah, I've already rated the restrooms, so I think that it's time for the third floor. Oh boy, yeah, this is an area I haven't been to before. But we can go to Mr. Gun Manor, where we have Curious George, Formidable Tusks, no, a calm and tame turtle. I always hated donkeys. Damn, this is a nice paint. Oh, ha 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 ha. And he's all ears. And a sunflower. The sunflower was enchanted to not need natural light, so now it's an unflower. Ha, God. I'd also like to point out that somebody left a comment explaining that the name Mrs. Terry Gunn is basically Mystery Gun. But I didn't pick up on that, so that was a little bit subtle. So good job to whoever figured that one out. But we're gonna head into the music room, which is full of, yeah, it's full of musicians doing music things. A wind-up mandolin, huh? Alright. And then we have a bassoon. This is a bassoon, and you know what they say, it makes an ass out of N and bassoon? Boo. Ha ha ha. Fancy new electric floor lamp. Turning it off. Music books. I will face them. I got Dueling Banjos. Almost all the books are dry-rotted and moth-eaten, and fall apart at a touch. You do find a copy of Dueling Banjos in reasonable shape, though. This is a book of sheet music for the classic song Dueling Banjos. There's a library call number written on the spine. Oh boy, there we go. And sheet music. Blank sheet music. Played Dueling Banjos. I can't play Dueling Banjos by myself. I don't have enough arms. Florence? Sorry, I only play the bagpipe, but not very well. If it's a bagpipe, how do you know? How about you, Gary? Hello? Hello, what? Do you know how to play the piano? What? It is having so many square teeth. Spoken by Florence, so that's the wrong character. I discovered a little bugaboo. Okay, never mind. Well, who is going to be able to play Dueling Banjos with me? Oh, probably this person who's playing the wind-up mandolin. Well, I guess I'll talk to them now. This woman doesn't seem to be interested in anything other than cranking that hurdy-gurdy. I will disconnect the crank. You deftly disconnect the crank from the hurdy-gurdy without alerting the woman's attention, but it turns out you needn't have bothered. She continues to turn the crank blank-eyed, even with nothing attached. You grab the end of the crank and pull her very slowly to the gift shop, where you find a Victrola to plug her into. Problem solved? She seems just as happy here as she was before. It must be nice to have a calling. Alright, well yeah, we're doing good putting the gift shop back together. I guess I'm roughly halfway there. And I definitely like how there's the parking validation guy just sitting in the corner smoking inside. I guess it's the 1800s, so, you know, tobacco wasn't illegal back then. Okay, let's go back up to where I was, I guess. Okay, go to the 3rd floor. And I guess I will fight the music ghost. Well, I guess I'll also head over to the hurdy-gurdy. Without that lady here to crank it, the hurdy-gurdy is neither hurting nor girding. Phenomenal. Alright, this is a ghost of an orchestra conductor. Unless he's a ghost of someone pretending to be an orchestra conductor. Either he's very agitated about something, or he's conducting Flight of the Bumblebee. Yeah, it's right there. Okay. I will try talking to him. Sorry to interrupt, but I can't actually hear the music. What are you conducting? It's the finale of the year 1812 Solemn Overture by Tchaikovsky. Oh, the 1812 Overture. Sure, that would have been my second guess. Is your orchestra, like, double ghosts or something? What? Ah, I see, there is no orchestra. I merely have this piece of music irrevocably lodged in my head. It's been nagging at me ever since my death. Ask him about his death. This is just a guess, but did you die during a performance of the 1812 Overture? That is correct, yes. Very astute of you. And the finale of that piece features a real actual cannons, right? Is that how you died? If it was my fate to be slain by a piece of music, cannons would have been far preferable to my utterly farcical demise. What happened? The overture requires several cannons because it is impossible to load a single cannon quickly enough to fire as the score demands. However, the stage we were performing on could not have borne the weight. What did you do? I was not informed of the difficulty until it was far too late to make any changes. It transpired that the stage manager decided it would be sufficient to give a box of bullets to the tuba player. You were shot by a tuba? I was shot, as you say, by a tuba. I'm just picturing that they loaded a bunch of bullets into a tuba, and then they get to the end of the 1812 Overture, which I think is like the one that goes da 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 da. Is that the 1812 Overture? Yeah, is that the 1812 Overture? Or is that a different piece? I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure that's the 1812 Overture. Yeah, I have Ladybird here to do research for me. But anyway, I'm just picturing that it gets to the end where it's got the tuba lines like bom, 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 and just bom, just a bunch of bullets just go streaming out and hit this dude. Alright, I wait with bated breath to hear if I am correct, even though multiple people in chat are saying that I was correct. But... yeah, but that's not the part I did. I don't recognize the parts that you're, like...
The Marseillaise.
The what?
Marseillaise.
What the hell's the Marseillaise?
The French anthem. The section that you wrote in for that.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that... okay. Da, 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 ha, 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 ha,
yeah, he just did it, like, slower.
Okay. People weren't exactly a big fan of the French back in the 1800s. I remember there's this very famous German piece that's about the Grenadiers or something like that, and it ends with them singing like the French national anthem, and the lyrics are like, "And they went home as losers," basically. And I was like, and it's in German. So, yeah, French and Germans, they weren't really very friendly for, ever. Anyway, I just skip to the end and let me know if it's da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Eh? Okay, got it. Alright. So yeah, just picture that, but with a machine gun happening. Wow, no wonder you ended up as a ghost. Oh, it isn't the ridiculousness of my death that troubles me. Really, accidents happen as with any of the performing arts. A colleague of mine was decapitated by an errant cymbal during a performance of Paganini's Violin Concerto Number 1. Such are the risks we take for our art. Gosh. The problem is that the 1812's Overture's finale is a very dramatic and energetic piece. With this music constantly replaying itself in my head, I have been utterly unable to find any peace. I'll see if I can think of a way to help. Alrighty. I guess that is the end of that. Alright. Let's, I guess I'll head to the library. I assume the library is going to be my way of, actually defeating these ghosts. And I think, okay, here's the library. I will get cracking with my first book here of Dueling Banjos. Which, there's a library call number written on the spine. And I guess that's, do I start here? Investigate? Okay. I find the shelf where Dueling Banjos belongs and put it back. The previous book on the shelf is entitled Duel Law, which seems to be about the legal issues surrounding dueling. Never know when that might come in handy. Duly noted. This thick legal tome explains all the laws about dueling with things other than banjos. Alright, do I use that? Okay, I can read it. You learn about all the laws pertaining to dueling. It turns out when two guys want to murder each other in a fair and reasonable manner, things get legally tricky. I gain +5 pistol attack damage. And I guess I'll read this as well. I am reasonably well informed about the specific subset of gun law pertaining to duels and duel-adjacent activities. Well, time to go put some smug-ass ghost in their place. I do that by going to the gallery, and I do that by talking to this jagoff. I think you'll find requires gun law. But, God damn it, again, duel law. Really? 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 Wait, but... Okay, can I put... Wait. I wasn't... Did I mess up? I can't... I don't know if I messed up or not. Okay. Was that... I don't know if I was supposed to put the dual law book to get the gun law book. Like, I don't know if I messed that up or not. Oh, well. Can I find anything else in this? Alright. I'm a little confused as to what just went down, but I guess I'll pop over into the kids' room because nothing confusing ever happens to children. Alright. Oh, no. I need to turn this up so people can hear it, because this is awesome. There we go. Do you like this music?
It's cute, but it's really creepy.
Is it creepy to have that child's music when there's a painting of a clown peeping over you?
Is it a clown? I mean, is it a window or a painting?
Oh, that's always a good question, isn't it? Okay, let's bring that down just a touch. Alright. Oh, I can transcribe the creepy music.
Ooh.
Okay, I get spooky lullaby sheet music. You've transcribed a spooky lullaby onto this sheet music, or rather, something used your hands to perform that operation since you don't know how to actually read music. Alright, let's go into here. It's full of baby supplies that you don't understand, like feeding shampoo and, swaddling rattles. Oh boy. Oh, I'm so excited to read the description of this, but first we're gonna go to the teddy bear that appears to be stabbed and having its guts spilled all over the floor. This teddy bear has been comprehensively and enthusiastically disemboweled. Oh hey! This stuffing would be perfect for making a silenter. Sorry, Teddy, this is for the greater good. I got a wad of stuffing. This stuffing would be perfect for making a silenter or a taxidermied turkey. The composition of this painting is bad in every way. That's true, that is actually pretty terribly put together. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not great. There we go. Okay. What's this gonna say? It's a blackboard. It's gonna say boo. You monster, why would you write that? Should we make sure that that never happens to anybody again. I take the chalk. I take the blue chalk. Okay. What makes it blue?
Blue boo.
A big stick of blue chalk, handy if you want to trick somebody into thinking a sidewalk is the sky. You do not trust this horse one bit. I beg to differ. I've ridden on a much creepier, stupid-ass horse this entire game. It's a doll mine. How adorable. Just look at all the little miners and mine carts and mine shafts and bowls of minestrone. But what's this? There's a tiny stick of dynamite stuck in a little borehole. This toy is interactive. Did you know that firecrackers are just tiny sticks of dynamite? And that this is just an even tinier one? And that a pumpkin is technically a berry? Bull. No. What? Pumpkins are not berries. Pumpkins grow on a vine. Are grapes berries? I don't know. This is disgusting. Alright. For a Victrola, that's some very interesting music. Let's go into this room. Ah. This poor fellow is having an eternal tea party with a ghost child. Let's go into the other room. Alright. This is a much nicer vanity than that of the average Frontier teen. I'm gonna gussy myself up a little bit. Ah. The various powders and creams and pomades to make yourself slightly more presentable. I'm really, really confused by this music. I'm really confused by this music. I like it. It's kind of cool. But it's like...
It's what the teen
it's
girls
like,
listen to.
yeah, it's like disco-y funk kind of, like banjo? Is Daniel Boone a musician here? It's a Daniel Boone poster. One corner is loose. Oh, I know where this is going. Ah! Someone has been slacking on their geometry homework. Do it for them. I decided to take the book with you and do the assignment later. I got a geometry textbook. Rufus would probably understand this, but you sure as hell don't. I don't know who Rufus is.
I was gonna say, who's Rufus?
Excuse me. This armoire is full of schoolgirl skirts and other clothes that would not fit you even if you think they might suit you. Looks like somebody forgot a book under the bed. Take a look. Fun Law. Ha! That's the gun law book. Rules for 71 parlor games and assorted amusements for children. You got an item. Fun Law. Rules for parlor games. If you wanted to learn how to play Pinochle, Sass the Bandit, Polly's Maiden Aunt, or Sit Quietly, then this is the book for you. We'll grab the science stuff. What is this devil's music? Turn it off. You yank the needle away from the cylinder and hide the handle away. Turn it on. You place the needle on the cylinder and crank the handle vigorously. Yeah, we'll keep that going. Alright. We're gonna do fun law first. And I mostly am doing that just to spite the very, very smug ghost in the gallery. I don't need them telling me shit about the universe. The last thing I want to do is learn. Okay, we come in here. Investigate. You find the shelf where fun law belongs and put it back. The next book on the shelf is entitled Gun Law, which might be even more entertaining. This book is an overview of the laws regarding guns, which even at this point in history already don't make any sense. We'll definitely give this a shot, and I'm gonna read it. You learn basically everything there is to know about gun law. Now you can be the prosecuting attorney and defense counsel in addition to judge, jury, and executioner. Plus 5 pistol attack damage. You know enough about gun laws to know that they who have the guns make the laws. After that, you put the book back on its shelf. Time to dispense some justice. Alright. Coming over here to put somebody in their place with gun. Okay, what's the problem anyway? It's legal stuff you'll never understand. In fact, I think you'll find I'm quite conversant in the finer points of our justice system, particularly as it pertains to guns and gun-related activity. Horseradish, you're all trousers and no briefs. Oh yeah, well just try me, smart lady. Fine. Obviously you aren't going to leave me alone, so just ask your question. Ahem. I'm Captain Blacktooth, speaking for the record. State your name, occupation, and cause of death. Felicity Wainwright, defense attorney, lost a court-approved trial by combat. What? Trial by combat has been outlawed for like 15 years. You do understand that ghosts don't visually age as time passes, right? Oh, right. So your client called for a trial by combat, which meant you and the prosecutor had to face off in a duel. I'm not sure if that's how that works. That's correct. And you lost? She squints at you. Are you acting dumb to try and throw me off guard? I withdraw the question. Why are you stuck as a ghost? Because although trial by combat was already well out of fashion at the time, it was still a valid legal recourse. I should have been prepared for the possibility, but I wasn't. My lack of training resulted in an innocent man being executed for murder. How was he executed? Hanging, I assume. Obviously, I wasn't around to see it. So to release you, I'd need to prove that the loss wasn't your fault. The trial duel was completely fair and above board. There's no chance of there having been foul play on the prosecutor's part. My loss was my own. Then, I'd have to prove your client was actually guilty and therefore your feelings of responsibility are misplaced. The look she gives you is hard and cold. Look, you think you know a thing or two about the law. How about you tell me the first rule of being a defense attorney? Don't make fun of the judge's beard, don't refer to his gavel as the weird little hammer, or don't accidentally call him mom. I can't decide.
Weird little hammer.
I was leaning towards weird little hammer, too. Don't refer to his gavel as a weird little hammer. You have to trust and believe in your client. If you don't believe your client is innocent, you'll never convince anyone else he is either. That's not true. I've been watching a lot of Legal Eagle lately.
That's right.
So, sidebar, there's an amazing YouTube channel called Legal Eagle, and you should watch it because every video that he puts out is just really cool. That's all I'm gonna watch about that. I saw out of the corner of my eye as soon as I read that line, if you don't believe your client is innocent, you were just immediately like, that's not true.
It's not true. No, he said that in one of the episodes.
That's true. So if I want to convince you he was guilty, you'll have an uphill fight, gal. You're essentially playing prosecutor here. Alright, tell me about the case. My defendant was Matthew Guilty McCready, accused of the murder of Victor Vic Timsbury at noon on June 18th, 1878 in Reno. Your client was actually named Guilty. Come on. Names don't mean anything. I once had a client named Ike Elida Guy. Or I killed a guy. I killed a guy. And he was totally innocent. Elida Guy. I honestly could not read it. For someone's actual legal name, sure, but nicknames are usually given with some sort of basis. You've never met a really tall guy named Tiny or a fat guy named Slim? Arguably, the nickname Guilty would reinforce my client's innocence. That's totally absurd, but I'll let it rest for now. Even my meager knowledge of the law is, like, getting slightly triggered by, like, all these, like, little things. Say, I'll let it rest. Jeez. Or I withdraw the question, or I state for the record. God. What was the cause of death? Timsbury was shot through the heart with a .45 caliber revolver. And did McCready own such a gun? Yes. He was holding it at the time, and subsequent examination showed that it had been recently fired. Are you messing with me? This was at noon precisely. Yes, this was confirmed by witnesses. Also, McCready owned a fancy pocket watch that chimed on the hours. There were witnesses? About half a dozen of them. I'm pretty sure there's something you aren't telling me. I'm not obligated to play my hand face up, Ms. Prosecutor. Hang on a second. Shot with a pistol in front of witnesses at exactly noon. Was this a duel? So you can add 2 plus 2 after all. Well done. Well, as luck would have it, I've just recently read a whole book about duel law. What? Why? No reason, I just happened to cross it at the library and thought it would be interesting. You read an entire code of law you found at random just for the heck of it? Yep. Let me just do a quick review. A duel is legal provided it's between exactly 2 people at a specific prearranged time and place using the same or at least essentially similar weapons, and they have to either face each other down and quick draw at the appointed moment, or do the 10 paces turn and fire routine. Is that right? That's the gist of it, yes? So I guess let's start with you telling me the facts of this case, and I'll interrupt you rudely if I have any questions. Alright, but if you push me on trivial nonsense, I'll get mad and you'll have to start over. That seems fair. Go ahead. McCready and Timsbury got into an argument in a saloon on the evening of June 17th. Apparently Timsbury accused McCready of cheating at poker. I have some questions. Shoot. What was the name of the saloon? The Two-Headed Horse. Weird. Did they have one? No, I think the proprietor was going from a sort of double entendre, but it didn't really work. Ew. Huh. It really doesn't. Two-headed spider, maybe, but anyway, do you have any other questions or get on with this? I have another question. What day of the week was this? Monday. Monday, June 17th, 1878. Well, that makes sense. Everyone's always a bit grumpy on a Monday. They should make the weekend Sunday and Monday instead. Then you could spend Monday relaxing and having to go to work. But then, do you have any other questions? Yeah, I want to ask something else. Tell me more about the argument. There isn't much to tell. The other players in the game had already folded their hands in that round, so they weren't paying very close attention. All we know is that Timsbury accidentally accused McCready of being a dirty, cheating varmint, and McCready said Timsbury was just sore because he'd been losing all night. Did McCready have a history of cheating? He'd been accused of it once or twice before, but Reno's a gambling town, and he hung out in the rough part of it. Getting accused of cheating by a sore loser when you're on a lucky streak is par of the course. Okay, what happened next? The bartender yelled at them to take it outside, but since it was dark out, they agreed to meet for a duel the next day. And that would be the 18th, you said? Yes, June 18th, 1878. I have a question. What? Did they set a specific time for the duel? Yes, high noon. Figures. Why is it always high noon? Tradition, I suppose, and since the sun is at its highest in the sky, everything's brightly lit and there aren't many shadows, so that's good for gunfighting. Plus, you can have your duel on your lunch break. Let me ask something else. Why didn't they just not fight? What? Well, a fight breaks out in the heat of the moment, that's one thing, but they cool off enough to schedule a meeting for the next day and still go through with it? A card game is a heck of a thing to get killed over. It's an honor thing, I suppose. That, and they were each confident that they wouldn't be the one getting killed. Yes, it's dumb, but it's also extremely immaterial. Toxic definitions of masculinity and the general lawlessness of the frontier are not what's on trial here. Why didn't they just fight right then and there? Because it was dark. You can't have a gunfight in the dark. No, I get that, but they could have just had a regular old fist fight. They were mad enough to shoot each other to death, but not punch each other? Well, without getting too psychoanalytical, these guys were gunfighters. I mean, they counted that as a significant part of their identity. Fighting without guns was not just outside their wheelhouse, they considered it a waste of their time and talents. Like asking a fancy French chef to make you a grilled cheese sandwich. Sorry, never mind. What happened next? Well, the next day they both showed up shortly before noon and squared off about 30 feet from each other. When noon struck, McCready fired, fast enough that Timsbury didn't get his shot off, on account of having his head shot off. That's pretty much the long and short of it. I lost track of the story. Can you start over? Fine. Okay, let's start from the beginning. McCready and Timsbury, I have some questions. What was the name of the saloon? Two-headed horse. Go ahead. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna have to ask for some more details on that. What weapons were they using? McCready had a .45 caliber single-action Army revolver. Timsbury had an older model 36 caliber cap and ball Navy revolver, which he loaded with paper cartridges instead of packing the gunpowder by hand. Let me ask you something else. He fired exactly at noon. Yes, as soon as the church bells started ringing. You also mentioned McCready's pocket watch. Yes, he had a fancy pocket watch that chimed in the hour. Is that important for some reason? I guess not. Let me ask something else. You said there were witnesses. About half a dozen of them, watching from across the street or peeking through half-open shutters. Were they interviewed? Yes, and their stories lined up with what I told you. Were any of them known associates of McCready? I'm not aware of any of them being actual friends with McCready, but he was a local and a lot of people knew him. She gives you a suspicious look. Wait a minute, just where are you going with... Oh, never mind, I have another question. Can we start over? Alright. So I guess, my question now is, which dialogue tree seems the most interesting? I guess any of these three will probably lead to the, end of this, plot line here. So I'm not sure which one seems to be the most interesting. I'm kind of leaning towards the gun one. But also the noon one seems kind of interesting. I'm not too big on the witness one, though.
I would do noon because of the pocket watch and the church bells.
Okay, we'll do the noon one. He fired exactly at noon. So McCready fired as soon as the church bell struck noon? Yes, that's what I just said. Have you got a point to make, or are you just stalling for time to think? Objection! Gah, what the heck? McCready fired at the wrong time. What are you talking about? He fired at noon, but the church bells, there are witnesses. That's right. He fired at clock noon, but the duel was set for high noon. They aren't the same thing. High noon is just when the sun is at its highest point in the sky, depending on geography and the time of the year. It can be hours different from clock noon. McCready fired early, and that makes the duel illegal. So what do you say to that, counselor? I've got to hand it to you, Prosecutor Blacktooth. I almost said Blackfoot. That's the code. That's the name of the building I used to work in. Anyway, you're a lot better at this than I was giving you credit for. That's a good thought you had there. There's just one problem with it. Oh? What's that? I already thought it. Take that! She hurls a small book at you, which you just barely managed to catch. The 1878 Nautical Almanac. What the heck is this? I did my homework when I was preparing for that trial. My legal homework, since at the time I expected there to be an actual trial, not a gunfight. What you're holding there is a nautical almanac for the year 1878. There are bookmarks if you'd like to do the math yourself, But if you look up solar noon, aka high noon, for June the 18th and make the adjustment for Reno's longitude, what do you think you get? You've got to be kidding me. That's right, Ms. Prosecutor. 12 o'clock p.m. Precisely. No! Well, damn. Nice try, though. I mean that sincerely. That's all my ammo. I can't think of any way to disprove McCready's innocence. As far as I can see, it was a fair duel. Yes, and that's me with the guilt of an innocent man's death on my hands. An innocent man's death. You sure are good at repeating things people say. What if he didn't die? Say what now? But you didn't actually see the execution, right? Yes, well, I was indisposed, as you might say, being dead and all. So I didn't actually know whether or not it happened. Oh, come on. Look, I appreciate the effort, but you're barking at the wrong moon. Let me ask you something. Was the trial right after the duel? The 19th? Huh, no. I don't know what Reno's like now, but it didn't have a proper courthouse then. And he can't try a murder charge in the sheriff's front parlor. McCready sat in jail for a couple weeks, and then they transported him to Frisco. What with one thing and another, the trial didn't start until July 25th. Jeez, so much to the right to a speedy trial. The wheels grind slow. What did they say the month was?
June 18th was the murder.
July 25th? I mean, I think it's what, 90 days or something like that? So that's not that big of a deal to wait like a little bit over a month. I think. I don't remember what it is. I need more legal. What can you tell me about McCready? He was a gunfighter, through and through, and by that I mean he was an adrenaline addict, and dueling was his needle of choice. Hell, if you told me you had evidence that he cheated at poker with the specific intent of baiting people into challenging him to duels, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. He was a sly one. Her expression softens, and she sighs. I make him sound like a real devil. That's not fair. He was smart and charming, and could have been a good man if he'd chosen an entirely different life for himself. Well, I recall he had a really good head for numbers. He told me that he never forgot a date, and every man he'd ever killed, he'd remember to pour a beer on their grave for their birthday. Well, that's nice. A nicer birthday present would have been not having killed them in the first place, of course. Yep. I have another question. When was the execution? Well, we held the trial by combat on the 26th, and that was a Friday. They don't execute prisoners on the weekend, so presumably it would have been the following Monday, the 29th. In the morning? What with setting up the gallows and letting a crowd gather, they usually happen in the afternoon. Around 3, typically. Why did he invoke trial by combat? I was mightily surprised, let me tell you. The only thing I can figure is it was his damn fool sense of gunfighter's pride or something. Like that was the only form of justice he was willing to submit himself to. I'll be back, I need to do some research, and the game doesn't look like it's recovering from this. Oh, there it goes. Alright, that was a little bit funky. Let's look up a date in this thing. This book is almost entirely tables of numbers labeled things like logarithm of the radius vector of the Earth. I'm not sure if that has any particular... that's just math nonsense. Why would, like, the radius vector of the Earth? I don't really know if you can express a radius as a vector in a particularly mathematically useful or interesting way.
And then find the logarithm for it.
Yeah, logarithm of a vector is also something I'm a little bit like, I'm not entirely sure what that means. But, I mean, you could, kinda, I don't know. You could look up any date in the year 1878 in it, though who knows if you'll be able to figure out anything from what it gives you. Look up a date. What month do I want to look at? I guess July. Pick a day. What are some of the interesting days? 25th? This was when McCready's trial started. No special astronomical events that day as far as you can tell. Look up a date. June 18th. That was the day of McCready and Timsbury's duel. Apart from the fact that High Noon and Reno matched up exactly with clock noon that day, there doesn't seem to be anything special about it. January 33rd. You'll have to look up the date in the fake almanac of not real days because it's not listed in this one. It's really not your fault. Our calendars were like ridiculous. Let's try again. January 1st. Doesn't seem like anything interesting happened that day. December 25th. Let's see, on that day, there was a moon, and it was somewhere between new and full. Alright. April 1st. Look up that day and get a lot of numbers that don't mean anything to you. Okay, fine. July 27th? I guess it was July 28th. I thought, wait, hold on. What was the date? Ah, crap.
Which one?
The date that he was supposedly hung.
July 29th, right?
Ah, okay. I couldn't remember it. July 29th. This was when McCready was going to be executed. Let's see. Wow, wait a minute. According to this, there was a total eclipse of the sun that day, centered right over the Western Territories, and with its totality at 2:47 p.m. That's a hell of a thing. Hey, I got a question for you. I looked up July 29th in your almanac. What? Now you're just messing with me. No, look for yourself. Totality at 2:47 p.m., right over the Western Territories. Well, that's quite a thing, but I don't see how that affects... Wait, unless they're suggesting it was the perfect opportunity for McCready to escape. That's absurd. Absurd like a fox. You said yourself that McCready was really good at remembering dates. He could have read about the eclipse at any time and stored that knowledge away for future use, like to give himself an advantage in a duel or something. Alright, that's reasonable as far as it goes, but McCready couldn't have worked the eclipse into an escape plan because he didn't have any say over the court schedule. You said with one thing and another, the trial didn't start until July 25th. McCready could have caused any number of those delays himself by faking illness in prison, or messing with the horses on the ride to Frisco, or anything. This also could explain the trial by combat. You mean, there ended up being too much of a delay, so if a regular trial went too long and he was found guilty, he'd have missed the eclipse. Exactly. Whereas if he called for a trial by combat, everything would be resolved one way or the other in only one more day. Maybe you'd win and that'd be fine, but if you lost, he could use his escape plan. I have to admit... excuse me. Breathe in. I have to admit, this is pretty compelling, but it's all maybes and what-ifs. Yeah, maybe it happened, but maybe McCready was rescued by leprechauns. Oh man, are there leprechauns in Frisco? You need some kind of hard evidence before this is any more than just a fun story, is what I mean. Well, let me ask you something else. How can I find evidence of McCready's escape? Well, we don't know that an escape even happened. Something like that would have been in the news for certain. Okay, I'll see what I can find. In the news. I mean, I don't think there's anything... Where would I find news? I don't know. Can I put the... Oh, here we go. You find a few bundles of old newspapers at the bottom of one shelf. The Frisco Newsinator. You start at the bottom of the stack and flip through them until you find the paper for the week of July 28th through August 3rd, 1878. The main feature has to do with the eclipse, and various accidents and spectacles that occurred because most people weren't expecting it. The editor apologized for bearing the announcement in the previous week's weather forecast. Most notably, all three men scheduled to be hanged on the 29th escaped in the confusion, and only 2 of them were recaptured. Unfortunately, their names aren't given. Keep looking. You don't find anything else relevant to the case. However, as you're putting the papers back in order on the shelf, a headline on a more recent issue catches your eye. Husband of famous inventor missing. The article's light on information, but apparently Mrs. Gunn's husband, Dan, vanished on the road while traveling to Dirtwater on business about 6 years ago. Law enforcement suspected bandits, but no evidence was found. That's kind of grim. Okay, well, I guess I can go back and talk to the lawyer. Is Bert going to spend the whole night solving a murder? I didn't intend to, but I guess so. I found a newspaper article. The guys scheduled to be executed the day of the eclipse escaped, and one of them was never caught. Which one? Well, didn't say, did it? Nope. Damn it. And executed criminals aren't given gravestones with their names on them, so you can't just go looking around Frisco Cemetery to find out. Listen, Captain, I really appreciate what you're trying to do, but at this point you'd have to actually find McCready himself to prove he wasn't executed due to my failure. Well, I guess that's what I'll do then. How? What? How? Yeah, how in the world am I ever going to be able to figure this out? Huh. What's wrong with this keyboard? I swear. I can't... Oh, right. This doesn't take capital letters. McCready. Okay. As far as I can tell, I didn't see any, I didn't remember seeing anything about, clues about where to go in this game. There's the cemetery, but they told me that, you know, I can't, I've imagined he's got as far a heck away from Frisco as he could, though, if he's the one that escaped. Alright. Go back to the coach. Okay, let's go... Let's, I guess we'll go to back to Dirtwater. And then if we're going to Frisco... Well, Frisco's in California, so to get as far away from Frisco as possible, I guess we would go to the circus or the Humming Cave. But I feel like this is the wrong approach. Like, I don't think that this is the, oh. I didn't realize there was another location for me to find. It's the Lazy Dude Ranch. Alright. I did not expect to find anything here. Oh no, I found hippies? Aww. Damn it. An old burned crate. Guess it came with the property. You get a bar of soap and a lasso. Oh no, it's like a whole hippie commune. Howdy. Hey, yeah, howdy, man. What's happening? That's what I was wondering. Oh, not much, man. We moved onto this little patch of land to grow crops, but then we decided it's more natural to just let Gaia grow whatever she wants, right? I bet that's a lot easier, too. Haha, right on, man. Where'd you get that hat? Oh, this? A friend of mine made it, man. I forgot which one. What do you take for it? Well, I've been thinking of trying a new style, man. Maybe like one of those hats the army guys used to wear back in the day. Like, that's kind of an ironic statement, man. There's an old fort over yonder that-a-way. I'll swap you if you can find one of those, man. Just like this one, you mean? Nice, man. Barter is like commerce, man, except natural. Can you dig it? This hat is more like a sack woven from red, gold, and green wool. It's like something out of a dream. Yeah, groovy. Garden in quotation marks. It's just full of nothing but weeds. That's pretty great. Well, I can get some manure. A huge supply of unused fertilizer. Gary sniffs the air and looks around excitedly. I got a bag of shroom grow. I will give this to Gary. Okay, Gary became more powerful. I assume he now will die in one hit as opposed to 1/3 of a hit. Howdy, I'm Captain. I'm Louise. Louise Lathrop. What? Why the long face, Louise? Aw, jeez. Basically because I'm stuck here farming with a couple of dummies who don't know how to farm a dang thing, so they just let the weeds grow and call it natural. I'm so sick of eating dandelions I could scream. Why don't you leave? I haven't got any meat or any other prospects or anywhere to go. I mean, dandelions are terrible, but they're better than eating dirt. How'd you get in this mess? I headed west after graduating baking school and fell in with these two because they talked a big game about natural grains. Fool that I was, I didn't realize all they were really interested in was getting silly on loco weed and not doing any work. So you're looking for work? Gosh, yes, desperately. The only trade I know is baking, though. Do you know somewhere that's hiring a baker? Heck, even unpaid would be better than this if it comes with a room and board. I just want to get out of here. I do happen to know of a bakery that needs some help. Really, that's wonderful. Oh, geez, I can't go like this, though. I'm filthy. Nobody would ever let me step foot into their kitchen looking like this. Do you have a bar of soap I can mooch off you? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You give her a bar of soap and directions to the bakery boy's bakery, and she sets off to find somewhere to take a bath before her job interview. I would think that that was a cooler thing if I had any context at all on what quest that was a part of, because I have no idea what I just did. But I'm gonna go into her house and take her shit. Never mind. I'm gonna go into this dude's house and take his shit. Never mind. I'm gonna talk to the hippie lady. Hey, like, howdy, I'm selling herbal medicines. Care to buy? The kind that are gifted us by Gaia without any interference by human hands. So, weeds? That's a derogatory term created by the man, but yeah, basically. I gain an herbal remedy. This is a little pile of random dried weeds folded up in a sachet of paper. Garbage stored in garbage, essentially. Doesn't do anything. Nice. I'm gonna eat it. You take the remedy and maybe you feel a little better? It's hard to tell, really. No, actually, you're pretty sure that did nothing. Well, I think I know where the game developers feel, or how they feel about herbal remedies. They are not too impressed. Alright, well, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really too interested in talking to the random encounters anymore. This is about as far from Frisco as one could get, and obviously this isn't going to lead anywhere. But that was a fun little detour. I didn't expect to find any more content in this game. I guess I'll head back to Dirtwater, and I will try to figure out where to go for the murder. Okay, go to Gun Manor. I'm gonna go to the info guy. What would I like to know? Rocks? Oh. This is the guy I rescued under from the granite thing. Great, I know a ton of stuff about rocks now, specifically igneous rocks and granite in particular. Did you know there are over 700 different types of igneous rocks and only 3 of them are edible? Well, what do you know? Tell me another one. Sure, how about this? Obsidian is a type of volcanic glass that, if chipped properly, can be so sharp it can cut a razor blade in half lengthwise. Weird, tell me another one. Sure, how about this? Hitting something with a rock was the very first human invention, and the second was swearing. Tell me another one. Granite gravestones and memorials are considered a status symbol because the tools to carve and engrave such hard stone with speed and precision have only recently been invented. In fact, up until about 15 years ago, there was only one workshop in the world that produced them, run by the inventor Alexander MacDonald, who also invented the Harzburger, although that proved less popular because Harzburgite is not one of the edible kinds of igneous rock. Geologists call granite massive because it doesn't have any internal structures, and also because it comes in great big lumps. Granite was an integral part of the architecture of many ancient societies, which is why the ruins of those buildings still exist today, unlike those of the ancient peoples who built all their structures out of cheese and wheat paste. The upper section of the Earth's crust is made of 94% igneous rock and 1% marzipan. Granite tables are frequently used as bases for optical instruments because they're very stable and easy to see. Granite is frequently used as a building material due to its strength and pleasant gray color. The third weirdest sport, curling, uses stones and brushes made specific... I don't know about that one. Granite is a natural source of radiation and can contain 10 to 20 parts per million of uranium, which is why you shouldn't fill your underwear with it despite the pleasant weight. There are over 700 different types of igneous rock and only 3 of them are edible. Okay. Well, they're repeating. So, well. Anyway, Murder Quest. Where should I go for murder? They wanted to get away from Frisco. So, let me talk to her once again and see if she gives it another hint. Just so I can get my bearings on what I should be doing. Boop. And where should I look for McCready? For McCready. I have to imagine he got as far the heck away from Frisco as he could, though. If he's the one that escaped. So... Frisco is in Oregon or California? I don't really remember. Let me talk to Florence real quick. Oh right, I have some science junk for her, and she now gained medicinal gas. Gross. Current location. This sounds like a real complicated one. Yeah, probably. I know a real simple solution. Florence pats her science rifle. Just saying. I'll let you know. That's true. They are intentionally making this one very, very complicated. Husband of famous inventor missing. It does say nothing else relevant to the case. What if I open up the almanac and look at the 30th? So, July... Pick a day... 30? There's a moon. Okay, that's not useful. July... 26th? Okay, this is when she was killed by trial combat. Doesn't seem to be anything astronomically significant about it. Okay. July... 24. Yeah, probably nothing too interesting there. Nothing interesting with regards to the state. Let's see. I don't quite know. I don't know if I've picked up any other clues here, but I don't want to just immediately give up as soon as the going gets tough here. So maybe if I go to the info center, I could potentially find. I don't think there's gonna be any information in here though. Okay. Yeah, let me go to the info center, or not the info center, but Just around here. Maybe some of these NPCs can tell me something interesting. Of course they cannot. Okay, info desk guy. Mrs. Gunn's family. She married Dan Staple Remover in 1875. He was the inventor of the staple remover. Did you know that? They'd met at an inventors convention 3 years previously. Dan decided to take her last name because he had wanted to call his invention Office Chompers, and he was always a little annoyed that people called it after him instead. They had 3 daughters named Dorothy Gunn, Blanche Gunn.
Yes.
Nothing. That's nice. Unfortunately, Dan vanished mysteriously in 1889, shortly after Rose was born. Nobody knows what happened to him, although it's generally assumed he was killed by bandits while he was on the road for Gun Industries business. And then all 3 of the girls went missing the year after. They went to summer camp and were just never heard from again. No ransom note or anything. Mrs. Gunn was never the same after that, naturally. She started blaming it on ghosts, though as far as I know, there's been no ghost activity here until just the other day. Gun Manor. Blah, blah, blah. I think I already read all this at some point. Okay, maybe later. Okay. Well, the other thing I can do, since I'm stuck, is bail. Let's go up to the 3rd floor and explore some of the other rooms. So I did the music room. I have some music that I can potentially play on the piano earlier, or from that I found, that music I got earlier that I can play on the piano. Huh. Oh, he's smiley now. I think this is working. Aww. Well, now, that was nice. Okay. I thought I'd be able to pick up the baton, but I guess I can't. Alright, well that's one ghost down. If I talk to Florence. There are 4 on the 3rd at this point. Okay. Let's go into the kids' room. And we still have the... I guess I never talked to this guy. Well, let's go into the toy box. And we get a stuffed gun. This is not effective as a gun, but it's also not at all effective as a bludgeon. Well, less macabre than I was expecting. Some wooden blocks with letters on them. Well, I think I know where this is going. Ah! Alright, yes, we'll talk to these two. This little girl is serving imaginary tea to her guests. The doll, while terrifying, is largely indifferent. The museum employee, on the other hand, is playing along with a rictus grin on his face. The little girl wears an annoying and disappointed frown. Hello there, my name's Captain. Can I join your tea party? If you want, I guess, but it's a terrible tea party. All I have is dumb made-up tea. I want a proper tea party like Mama took me to. Tell me more about that party. We went to a real tea room. It was so pretty. There were vases with flowers on them, and everyone was all dressed up in suits and pretty dresses, and there were white china teacups for the tea. Real tea, not imaginary. It was so nice, and everyone was so polite and charming and elegant. Well, until the fight started, anyway. Well, 2 of the gentlemen got into an argument. I don't know what it was about, but I guess one said something the other didn't like, and he was so insulted he threw his tea straight into the first man's face. And then they took out guns and started shooting at each other right there in the tea room. They were really elegant, though. They had little silver and ivory pistols, and they kept their pinkies out the whole time. Anyway, I don't remember the rest very well, except one of them missed the other and shot me by mistake. Thanks, but it's alright. Heaven's supposed to be really nice, so I guess I don't mind that much. But I didn't get to finish my tea party, so I want to have another one before I go. Except I don't have any tea, and make-believe tea isn't any fun anymore. Excuse me. Let me see if I can make some actual tea for you. The guy has a smile frozen on his face, and his eyes dart around in panic as he pretends to sip tea. One eye twitches as he tries to whisper to you out of the corner of his mouth. A drop of sweat rolls down his brow, and he stares at the little ghost who doesn't seem to have noticed. Oh, still not getting it. Can you speak up? His hands are shaking. If he were holding an actual teacup, it probably would have been shattered by now. He hisses at you through clenched teeth. Oh, Alright, well, I guess I'm going to go to the kitchen and see if I can make tea in the kitchen, because, you know, I think that's a good place to start. So kitchen is on the first floor, if I remember. And... oh, damn it. I forgot about that part. Is there tea in the dining room? Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I still haven't done yet. Oh yeah, I need to make chili. That's what's going on there. So it's sort of like I need to get, every ghost is kind of like wrapped around all the other ghost quests, and I think I just need to start solving them in the right order, and eventually it'll be able to, like, yeah, as I, what does that say again? Tistar. Ratsit. See, it's art. Really? Is that what the joke is? It's art? Huh. Okay. Well, to the third floor I go. Let's go into Mr. Gunn's bedroom. And we have a gross-ass sofa. That is disgusting. That looks like the sofa that you'd see in a high school theater's green room. And everyone's just like, ew, we don't sit on that sofa. Because that's when, like, the gross senior and, like, the freshman hook up. Ah. Anyway. The sofa is tacky, both in terms of style and stuff that's been spilled on it. From the smell of it, Mr. Gunn mostly burned garbage in this thing. It's a humidor full of cheap cigars. I have a cheap cigar. This is a cigar for people who want, for some reason, to appear to have spent a lot of money on a disgusting habit without actually spending a lot of money on it. Alright, I got 3 cheap cigars. No. I want to look at swords. Weird, if you're going to commission a painting of swords, you'd think they'd at least ask for nice swords. This guy doesn't notice you approaching until you're right next to him. He yelps in surprise and drops his glass on the floor, then squints unsteadily at you. Then he takes a maraschino cherry from a bowl on the bar cart and throws it at your head. Hey, stop that. Ha! Sorry, just making sure you're not one of them ghosts. He drops another cherry into a fresh glass and pours a lot of whiskey on top of it. Are you one of the museum employees? Mm-hmm. Yep, that's me. Hayden. Lady, I don't know if maybe you didn't notice, but this house has got ghosts in it. Whole bunch of them, all over. So I don't know about you, but I'm staying right here where it's nice and drunk. I mean, safe. Would you rather get out of here? Nah, all the booze, that is, booze. I'm really scared of when ghosts go boo, you know? They'll get me if I leave this room. There aren't any ghosts between this room and the exit. So you said, that's what you said, but they're ghosts. They can be anywhere, except in here. Exactly. I ain't leaving without a guarantee that those ghosts won't grab me on the way out. We could disguise you. Here, look, we'll use this white curtain to disguise you as a ghost, then they won't bother you on your way out. That's a mighty fine idea, but he tosses back his drink and pours another. But, oh, eye holes. That curtain's got no holes for my eyes. I won't be able to see. Heh. I'm starting to think you don't actually want to leave. No! What did give you that idea? It's terrible in here. Shoot some holes in the curtain. You narrow your eyes at him and blast some holes in the curtain with your pistol. Okay, jeez, I get the picture. He grabs an armload of bottles from the cart, pulls the shower curtain over his head, and staggers out the door. I understand. The museum employee has drunk a lot of the cart's content, but there's still a few bottles left. I got Manly's finest cotton candy schnapps. Oh, that sounds disgusting. He must have only read the first part of this label before he decided to buy this. Manly's finest cotton candy schnapps. That's pretty funny stuff. It's there. Oh, it sparkles and gleams. It's what I've always wanted. Oh, a tear is brought to my eye. Oh, joyous day. Oh, be still, my beating heart. Let's go into the spittoon. There's a spittoon here. A bright, shiny, beautiful spittoon. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh boy, oh yeah, come to mama. What are you doing? Nothing. What are you doing? Looking at someone who's kneeling next to a spittoon with the apparent intention of sticking her whole entire face inside of it. Dive in. You jam your head into the spittoon up to the shoulder and find nothing. The brass bucket is shiny, clean, inside and out. Clean as the day it was born. The museum staff must have washed it. It looks brand new. Are you crying? No, I'm fine. You're crying. Well, let's be over here whenever you're done lying on the ground in the fetal position and hugging a spittoon. Fine. I got an achievement for that. It is, unrequited. Loved a spittoon that didn't love you back in gun manner. I am a little bit sad that that wasn't way more disgusting than I wanted it to be. There's a trapdoor in the ceiling over here. Too bad you aren't like 11 feet tall. I'll grab a billiard cue. You inspect them and take the best one, which isn't saying much. You get an item. Wobbly billiards cue. The thing about people who buy billiards tables is that they are almost never the kind of people who will properly maintain their cues. That is very true. For whatever reason, that's true. This cue does not provide evidence to the contrary. Okay, we'll turn off the lamp. And I guess it's time to play pool against this guy. But first I want to look at this. This is both the biggest and dumbest poster you've ever seen. That's pretty true. That's a pretty stupid poster. Hey there, how's it going? I ain't interested in chit-chat, gal. Just billiards. Step up or shut up. Challenge him to a game. You pull out your cue, and the ghost nods and racks the balls. He utterly trounces you. You just can't seem to make the balls go where you intended. That was the saddest showing as I've ever seen. Let me see that cue. Yeah, that's a problem. This thing's about as straight as a banker's handshake. You're gonna need to lathe this back to true if you want a chance against me. Lathe, Well, if only I knew where a lathe could be. It would be down in the... Well, there's a couple places there that there are lathes, right? There's one over here in the stagecoach area. And there's also one in the basement, I think? I'm not entirely sure. It's a lathe. Hey, maybe you can make that billiards cue less wobbly. You lathe, rinse, and repeat until the cue is fixed. This billiards cue has been lathed into shape. Alright. I wonder if it's a better weapon than what I currently have. What is it? It's a... Okay. Well, I just replaced my sweet sword with that thing, and my sweet sword is less moxie, so I guess the balanced billiards cue is exactly what I needed. And now I get to whack people over the head with a billiard cue, so that's pretty great. Let's go up to the 3rd floor. Has he figured out the radish painting one yet? Yes, I know, it's rad-ish. I thought it was a beet, but now I know it's a radish. Okay, let's talk to him now. Challenge him to a game. You chalk up your cue when the ghost racks the balls. It's a close match. You have to consult that geometry book a few times just to work out all the angles. The game comes down to a fight for the 8-ball, and you manage to barely squeak out the win when the ghost catches an unlucky bounce off the corner of a pocket. Well, shucks. Nice shooting, Tex. He flips you a finger gun salute, walks and winks and fades into nothingness. I forgot that I had the geometry book. Do I take that down to the library or no? If I go to just all things. Okay. Well, yeah, the geometry book I found in the kids' room. So this game is like, this DLC is all about like just all the ghost stories kind of wrapping around each other. Oh my god. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty, it is. We'll deal with it later. We're gonna look at this thing of beauty. Bowling is good. Nice. This poster is clear in its artistic intent, but not very imaginative. Okay. This bowling stuff is extremely broken. It's not supposed to be flying around even a little bit. This is where the bowling balls would come out if this thing was working. There's a big red button on this thing. Press it. Nothing happens. Alright. Well, I guess it's time to fight this thing. Fix it. Whoa, they're quick. A Boltergeist is just whooping my ass right now. But it's also gonna... Wow, 3 damage. That's really, really weak. Weird backpack increases the party's mysticality by 15. Shoots them all for 11 damage, or heals everybody for 17. Well, regardless, let's just shoot them with a little bit of science. And then... Bam! Just kill it in one shot there. I gain an item. Bowling pin. Carrying this around will save you the trouble of hurling your enemies all the way down a bowling lane to hit them with it. Plus 15 armor. And I don't know what I have in terms of armor right now. Oh, I want the billiards cue over the armor. Huh. Oh, good. The XR85 was complete trash. It's the Pinomat 80 XR86. Well, if I press the button, do more bowling things show up? What's the point of this? Is it just supposed to be that I can get experience or collect more, like, bowling pins off of it? Just get bowling pins for forever? Why would I want more bowling pins? Oh. Okay. I guess there's a couple different items I can do here. A bowling ball chunk. This chunk of bowling ball isn't big enough to do anything with other than throwing it at something. Alright, hooray. Well. Now, I guess, it's time for duck. Wow, you hope you've never meet a live duck this big. It does look very, very angry. It's sickening, killing a helpless sofa and stuffing its carcass as a grisly trophy. One of the moose's eyes is loose. This is just the head of a teddy bear. They didn't even remove the tag. So many polyesters die just to decorate rooms like this. These antlers are made out of paper mache, apparently by somebody who had never seen antlers before. Yeah, they look horrible. That's scary. There's a goblin head mounted like a trophy on the wall. This would be positively barbaric if not for the fact that the goblin seems pretty okay with it. Boo! Ha ha ha! Pretty good I am getting you, huh, human? Wow, yes, very much to getting me. Nice! What is happening to you? Did Mr. Gunn hunting you and to cutting head off? No, Mr. Gunn, a good human man, is being very friends. Inside one of his bowling ball bags, my spores are growing, only headroom. Mr. Gunn defiding me and hanging me up here for to chatting with. Great guy. Wow. Weird. A whole rack of bowling trophies. If they were billiard trophies, there'd be an easier pun to make. I don't get it. Pool trophies? Pool, I don't get it.
A rack of billiards trophies? I don't get it either.
I don't get it. Okay, let's turn that off. Alright, we're gonna pop the loose moose's eye out. Pop, now it's really got its eye on you. This is either a prosthetic eye made of glass or a very macabre marble. A macabre. A macabre. God, I love this game. This is just a photograph of a fish. Mr. Gunn was apparently really liberal with his definition of trophy. God, I love this game. Oh, man. Alright, this guy's playing, what's it called? Five-finger fillet? That thing where you take a knife and you, like, poke it between all of your fingers. I haven't played that game since middle school, because you have to be a middle schooler to be that fucking stupid as to play that game. But we played it with a pen, which still hurt like hell, because stabbing your finger with a pen sucks. This ghost is dressed up as a traditional safari hunter with the pith helmet and big white mustache and those weird khaki trousers that make it look like your butt has wings. He's inspecting Mr. Gunn's trophy collection, but doesn't seem particularly impressed. Hi, I'm Captain Blacktooth. Oh, charmed, I'm sure. Lord Oyston Camdenton at your service. What happened to you, if you don't mind my asking? Not at all, not at all. Though it isn't a very exciting story, eh, what? Oh, no. Oh, no. If Purple Phantom were awake, then I'd ask him to do this dialogue, but he's not. Like...
You can do British.
No, I can't.
No?
No. I can definitely not do British. If I just try to pretend I'm Purple Phantom, then
I can do fakey British, but it's not male.
Yeah.
You want me to do that?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So, I don't know. Never mind. I was hunting lions at the plains of Sparanghetti, and one of the blighters got a bet of me. Wow, you were eaten by a lion. That sounds pretty exciting to me. Yes, well, not eaten as such. Snaky Boggart crept into camp and pushed a stack of ammunition crates over me. Maybe I can help you. Help me do what? Well, I'll help you with whatever's keeping you as a ghost. But now that I say it, I guess there isn't much I can do to help you get revenge on that lion. Oh, no, 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 it isn't revenge that's keeping me here. Go for that lion, I say. Turnabout is fair play and all that, eh, what? Though I do wish you'd done it in a manner that made for a better story. So why are you a ghost then? It's because of my one true regret. I never faced the most dangerous game. I'm definitely not going to help you hunt people. What? No, no, no. The most dangerous board game. Oh, God. No, no. Don't be a Jumanji reference. Please, I beg of you. Nobody was ever willing to play against me. A body shame, eh, what? What's this game? Oh, thank God. He leads you over to a small table on which is laid out a board of alternating red and black squares, with little wooden discs painted red and black as well. Checkers? The checkers jump and scatter as the ghost stabs two large hunting knives into the center of the board. Knife checkers! What are the rules? Do you know how to play checkers? Yes. Do you know how to stab someone in the hand with the knife? Yes. That's all you need to know, really. Alright, I'll play. You yank one of the knives out of the board, and Lord Oyston instructs you to hold it left-handed. The rules are, you may only attack your opponent's hands, and only when they are over the board. Displaced checkers are played from where they land, but attacking the board directly is a foul, which awards the opponent a stab-free turn. It appears to be primarily a game of concentration, quick movements, and feinting. Play aggressively. You start out the game by attacking quickly and fiercely to establish dominance and keep your opponent from developing his pieces. This strategy is somewhat effective, but Lord Oyston doesn't scare easily, and he manages to feint a few pieces past your guard. You enter the mid-game more or less evenly matched. Play intelligently. In the mid-game, you focus more on the checkers than on your knife work, maneuvering into position for some big gains in the long term. You suffer a few minor nicks and cuts, but are well positioned for the end game. Play craftily. Lord Oyston spots a hole in your defenses. He feints left, then quickly slides one of his pieces into the gap and into your trap. This moves his hand into just the position you need to attack it with a hard downward stab. He easily yanks his hand out of the way and your knife hits one of your pieces on its edge, flipping it across the board to land neatly on his back rank. King me. I say, it's a foul to attack the board. Sure, but I wasn't, was I? I attacked your hand and you dodged. That's all. You sneaky blighter. Play continues, but with a king behind Lord Oyston's lines, you clean up very quickly. All right, lass. I concede. Marvelous play, eh? What? Well done. He gives you a smart salute, then fades away into nothingness. And now I get to repeat all of that dialogue in a different accent. Who's ready for it? I don't know. I can't think of any other British accents because I can't maintain a British accent for particularly long anyway.
What about like a classy one, like as if you were singing in English?
Like what? Like a I was trying to think of like a Ringo Starr accent, or not Ringo Starr. I did Keith Moon there, kind of, but like, oh, not at all, not at all. Though it's a very exciting story, eh? What? I was hunting lions in the plains of Serengeti, and one of the blighters got the better of me. Yes, well, not as such. Sneaky bugger crept into camp and pushed a stack of ammunition crates over me.
That's not bad.
Oh, that's good, because I thought it was fucking atrocious.
Oh.
Oh, no, 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 it isn't revenge that's keeping me here. Good for that lion, I say. Turnabout is fair play and all that, eh, what? Alright. A different British accent. Maybe like Glasgow? Oh, not at all, not at all. No, it isn't a very... jeez, that's good enough. I like the previous accent. That's fine. I don't like any of them.
I like both of them.
Alright.
The second one's a good impression.
It's not a good impression.
It is a good impression.
That is a terrible...
Look, Joe says it's a good impression.
Yeah, well, he's not a Beatle, is he?
Well, none of us are Beatles.
Is he Paul McCartney? He's in no position to judge my Paul McCartney accent then, if he's not Paul McCartney himself. But yeah, between Beatle and Cockney, I don't really have much of the way in terms of, like, accents.
There's no, like, Vaughan Williams lyrics accent.
Like if I were to try and channel my inner Christopher Guest and pretend I'm, like, in the House of Lords or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could do my inner Winston Churchill and be like, no, that's the same story, isn't it? What? Because he was a drunk.
Yeah,
Or, I could do my inner Theresa May and be like, not at all, not at all. Though it's a very exciting story, eh, what? I was hunting lions in the plains of the Serengeti and we were working on Brexit negotiations. Though I love the way negotiations. Or is it like negotiation? Like she says I don't remember how she says it, but Theresa May says the word negotiations really, really weirdly. And I'm pretty sure she says negotiations. But I don't really remember off the top of my head. Okay, other British accents. None. Okay, we're done.
Oh, that was fun.
I don't know British people. I only know purple. And when I think of purple, I just think of him going like, because like, when I think of purple, I think of him laughing. For whatever reason, that's like what my mind goes to when I think of purple. Or, right. Shoot for Australian. They usually come out British sounding by Americans. My Australian accent is far worse than my British accent, if you can believe that. Because my Australian accent is, like, basically me thinking that I could be, like... All I do is I think of the sniper from Team Fortress 2. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, oh, charmed, I'm sure. Lloyd Oyston Camdenton at your service. Well, the difference being one is mental sickness and the other's a job. Alright. That's enough of that.
What about, like, Eliza Doolittle?
I already did that. That was the Cockney.
Oh.
Oh, I wanted so much more spittoon out of that. Alright, I guess that takes care of Mr. Gunn. Shall we go to Ms. Terry Gunn? The door is locked and no earthly forces can open it. Well, maybe a whole team of horses, but good luck getting them up the elevator. Yes, who is it? Mrs. Gunn, I'm Captain Blacktooth. Are you with the Ghost Extermination people? Yes, ma'am. Florence Cunningham. Cunningham Ghost Annihilation Services. Captain is my assistant. I'm your what? Who's the county licensed ghost hunter here? Me or you? Have you been able to exterminate all of the ghosts? I still feel haunted. 10 of them left, according to the scanner. We're still working on it, ma'am. Don't worry, you can count on us. Please let me know when you've finished. Alright, so I guess I need to... I need to take stock of where I am and all this stuff. So... let's talk to Florence a little bit here. 2 on the 3rd, so I can account for one of them. I know that one of the ghosts is in the kids' room, right? Yeah, they're there. There shouldn't be any... there shouldn't be any ghosts in here. Oh, I think I know where the other one might be. There was some brief mention of a, of some room that had, like... what was it? A trapdoor in the ceiling that I need to be 11 feet tall to get to. But... you know, the other thing I can do is just have a ladder. But where was it? Was it over here? It's a trapdoor in the ceiling over here. Too bad you aren't, like, 11 feet tall. Okay. Oh, the balls are still now. Alright, grab one. Grab the most appealing ball, the 3-ball. Wow, that's pretty damn good. Regenerate 9 HP per round of combat. The red paint on the outside of this billiard ball reacts with human blood in a way that doctors will eventually discover is extremely harmful, but which for now is blissfully refreshing. That's a pretty good item. What's in my current offhand item? It is a... pistol token. The 3-ball's better than that. Or, the pistol token's better than that because it does more damage up. Alright. So there's not much to be said about this room. So the only places that there are ghosts is, I guess, probably Miss Terry Gunn is probably dead if I were to guess. And, the tea. I need to make tea. Let me talk to the librarian. Get over some library stuff. Do you have any old newspapers? Dating back 20 years, they're in the stacks. Okay. What about... I guess I can talk to her about other things, too. I'm looking for the precise I'm looking for some of that delicious paste. Oh, alright. So yeah, I guess this just, it's just not helpful whatsoever. August 3rd? Should I be looking at that, maybe? me see. Where is it? Where even is my almanac? It's been a while. Okay. Look up a date. August 3rd. July 30th? That's... Oh, about July 31st. Okay. That doesn't help. How about February 30th? Ah. What about leap year? Why the hell not? February has 29 days on a leap year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aww. 1878. Should that have been a year with a leap day on it?
Is it divisible by 4?
1878 divided by 4 is not divisible by 4. So, I guess not. Stupid game with its stupid realism. So dumb as hell. Alright, let's talk to Florence. So we are looking for 4 on this floor. And I don't know if I've actually counted for all 4 of them. Ah, her. Maybe I can get her. Were you able to find me a new eye? Yeah, kinda. How kind, thank you very much. She takes the glass eye from you and puts it in, whereupon it falls through her and lands on the floor. She touches it, she picks it up. Oh dear, it's a little too physical. Yeah, I wasn't certain that this would work. Don't worry, this is easily fixed. Do you have a hammer I can borrow? A hammer, yes? That'll do nicely, thank you. She takes the hammer, places the glass eye on her desk, and smashes it with a precise crack. Ah, perfect. She gives you back the hammer and plucks the ghost of the glass eye from the shattered fragments. After blowing the dust off of it, she tucks it into her eye socket. Does it work? Well, now that you mention it, no, I can't actually see with it. It's the ghost of a glass eye, after all. Oh dear, this won't do it all. What a shame. Well, you know, I don't really understand why your eye is still missing. I always assumed when someone loses an arm or something, it just sticks around as an arm ghost. That's why people say they can feel it itching sometimes, because they've still got an arm there, but it's a ghost. It's even called phantom limb syndrome. So logically, if the rest of you becomes a ghost after that, it would hook right back up. But then where did my eye go? Maybe it got pushed back inside your head? The ghost thinks for a second and shakes her head. No, that seems... Wait. I do think I felt something just then. She shakes her head again. My goodness gracious. Keep going. She bends her head. It's like one of those puzzles where you try to get the marble in the hole. Oh, I haven't played one of those since I was like 7. She bends her head forward and continues shaking it. You can almost hear a faint rattling sound and then a blop. She straightens back up, blinking with 2 eyes. You did it! Well, I'll be. Thank you so much, dear. I never would have thought of that. No problem. Have a nice time in heaven or whatever. Well, that's that then. Let's see. Did you figure out how to make a good exploding cigar? One that doesn't turn fun into a funeral. Oh, I know how to make a good exploding cigar. We take a cheap cigar, and I lit the cigar and take a single puff. It turns out the single puff is enough to make you stink up for the rest of the day. Your clothes and hair smell so awful that you're inured against external stenches. Gross. What I need to do is I need to put the tiny firecracker, or the tiny stick of dynamite, into the cigar and then give it to the ghost guy. Wait a second. What if you stuck to this into one of those cigars you found? Yeah, what if that? You poke a hole in the tip of the cigar and insert the dynamite. You got an item. Exploding cigar. Hilarious! I think this is what you're looking for. That's an exploding cigar? Yep. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, but not this time. What did you use for the explosive? I found a really small firecracker, just big enough to blow up the cigar without also blowing up somebody's face. Also without the, you know, violent lead projectile. You're a genius! Please let me see it in action so I can finally rest. Light it up. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he was one of my favorite ghosts of all. 2 left on the second and 2 on the third. Okay, so the 2 ghosts left on this floor are the murder mystery, who's way too difficult, and the librarian, who's way too, I can't figure out what I need to do to make her go away. But, that's good progress. And who's left on the first floor? 4 of them. So I need to go down there and try to figure out why I'm sucking so bad at this part. Nothing's in the parlor. Nothing's in the cellar. So there are 4 ghosts here. But I only know of 2 of them. I know of the guy that needs chili. And I know of the guy that needs the other in the kitchen area. This guy, yeah. Poached eggs. Well, let me go in the ice room and try to remember what was in here. Okay, I must have already raided whatever was useful in here a long time, or in a previous play session. Because I can't interact with anything, so... There's a whole bunch of radiators here, too. And I guess that, because I never entered this area without having turned the radiators on first, I don't know what they... I don't know what the purpose of the radiators is. Shall I talk to Florence? Maybe get a little hint? The damp is bad for my gear. Surely it'll be fine as long as you're not rolling around on the carpet. Okay. I guess I need to talk to her while I'm near a ghost for it to work. Okay. Do you ever make chili? Sure, doesn't everybody? Do you ever put a gun in it? Come on, you can hardly even call it chili if it doesn't have a gun in it. Okay, so I just get a reaction out of that. Can I talk to the guy who's attempting to serve her food? Nope. Okay. So... Poached egg. Poached egg. I wonder if I need to go out into this area or something. I barely explored this section at all. Aha! Weird. This bush seems to be full of pinto and kidney beans. This might make a good chili. This is a little mound of mixed beans. You've got strong opinions about what kind of beans go in chili. Assume this assortment satisfies them. So I can... I guess I can just take this and give it to that guy. Yes, because nothing goes into preparing chili other than just taking a handful of beans and then giving it to a person. That sounds really, really gross. Here's her bean slop. I've decided... Oh, I see. So it didn't actually give it to me. Just by fiat of... of just having beans. That's fair. Do I use the spices, though? Did I find chili spices at some point? Chili spices. So I do need to do something that actually cooks them, but I don't think I have anything like that. Let's just continue to explore this area in the outside here, because it might contain even more solutions than the ones I've found so far. This takes me to the back area, and I don't know if I've explored this. I must have. Okay, so I've already explored the backside of the manor plenty. It's a bunch of weeds that I don't need. It's a wild tea bush. Ah, I need tea leaves. Okay. Now all I need is boiling water, which that should be in the boiler room that's down in the basement. And that would be the way to get there. So I guess I'll pop down there real quick. Okay, I can turn the spigot on, and now I have tea service with tea, a steaming pot of tea, and all the cups you need to serve it to a maximum of 4 sophisticates. Well, I have it solved, so let's go ahead and... hello. Let's go ahead and go up to the 3rd floor, and then solve the little girl tea party quest. I mean, I might as well, right? I'm here, I got it all taken care of, and this time I don't feel like trolling everybody by getting really close to solving something and then not actually solving it in the end. Did you find some real tea? I'm sure. I sure did. Here you go. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. She serves the tea, and the 4 of you... Okay, well, not the doll. Sip it with your pinkies extended in genteel fashion. Then, with a giggle and a wave, she fades away. Rest in peace, kiddo. That's a horrifying doll. Oh, thank God. I thought that would never be over. Look at me, I'm shaking like a leaf. Kind of a freaky situation, right? Having to deal with little kids freaks me out bad enough. Having to interact with the ghost of one was horrifying. Anyway, thanks for the rescue. I need to get back to work. What do you do here? I run the candy counter in the visitor center. Oh. Huh. Alright. I will go down to the candy counter now and see if I can get anything good out of that. I assume that I can't. Because I think that most of the stuff in the gift shop is just, you know, reward items and quest rewards rather than anything that helps me solve the other ghosts. But I could be wrong. Let's go here. And, oh! I forgot to also talk to the souvenirs guy. Do some shopping. I can get fire-flavored candy stick, gunpowder-flavored candy stick, and steel-flavored candy stick. Gross. The secret ingredient that makes it taste like gunpowder is gunpowder. This candy is full of cast-off steel shavings from Mrs. Gunn's factory. The trick to making this kind of candy is that once the sugar is completely melted, you just keep it melting for forever. The guy from the bar cart is leaning heavily against a display of shot glasses with different names etched onto them. A sign on the display reads, "Personalized shot glasses, 1200 meat." The guy picks up a bottle stashed behind the display and fills a shot glass labeled Clyde. Is that your name? Clyde? The guy squints at the shot glass. Sure. He knocks back the shot and tosses the glass over his shoulder before picking up and filling another one. Now it's Johnny. Yes, Papa. Buy a shot glass. I got a personalized Gun Manor shot glass. This is a personalized souvenir shot glass from Gun Manor. You're excited to use it now that you're finally old enough to drink. Gain XP when you drink booze. So there's a personalized shot glass that says Captain Blacktooth on it. I find that as hard to believe as a Bort shot glass. Okay. Oh. I didn't notice that. That painting is a Scooby-Doo. Alright, well anyway, let's head back over to the Topiary Garden and continue to explore this area because it apparently contains a lot of things that I needed this whole time to solve a bunch of quests that I didn't know about. So, that's nice. I think that this is the area where I fought the hedge guy. And... yeah, did I ever figure out anything about this shrubbery portal? It just says this. H is for hedge, probably. W is for wizard, but I guess the game kind of doesn't give you that. Because the order of the... Oh! Oh! I never solved this part. Huh. I wonder what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, these plants have such a flatness and rectangle. Yeah, hedges, they're grown that way in a fancy garden sometimes. It's a craziness, a nature perversion. I'm wondering what I'm supposed to be doing to solve the hedge maze. There was nothing that gave me any hint about the hedge maze, right? Yeah, I don't really know what I should be doing here. I don't think I've gained a single clue about this area yet, have I? And if I go in here, I don't think I actually have any... Yeah, I don't think Florence is in this area, so I can't talk to her to get a hint. But yeah, I've totally forgotten that there's a maze section here that I've never actually gotten any clues about. So that's a little interesting to me. I also didn't really explore the laboratory very well, so why don't I do that while I'm kind of doubling back over areas that I've already been to. Let's see. And then there's the mannequin. Yeah, there's still a couple of little mysteries associated with all this stuff that I just have not actually gotten very deep into this area. Let's see. It's a workbench with a device on it. Examine it. Oh yeah, this is where I can make a silencer, I think. You look over the tools on the bench. You could definitely make a silencer here. The first thing you'll need is a cylinder. Maybe a tin can would work. Got some stuffing of the appropriate density. So I need to get a tin can. And I can get a tin can most likely from the pantry area. And a pantry area. Okay, there's no tin cans here. And in the dining room, I didn't see a whole lot of tin cans. Alright. Well, there's gotta be tin cans somewhere. So I will just have to look around a little bit until I find some. Any in here? Cleaning supplies, but no tin cans. Okay. Let's pop over to the second floor and look around. There won't be any in the restrooms. I would hope people aren't peeing in tin cans. That's where I got the shower curtain, though, and I used that to help that one guy get away, so I guess that's good. I guess that area is probably tapped out of items. And I'm pretty certain I've done everything in the guest room area. Is there any reason for me to... Oh, this is where I got snake oiler. I've already explored that. Okay. This is the way that I got into the other room. And the fourth room I've already solved, and there was actually nothing all that interesting in the third room. Oh. Alright, there's a bunch of candy in here. So I got sugar guns and sugared pork balls. This candy consists of little balls of pork preserved with sugar. Oh my god, that's disgusting. Awesome. Okay, let's head out of here. So the guest rooms are basically all tapped, I think. Restrooms are fine. There's a painting of cans. Oh. Nope. Clever, though. Okay. What about the third floor? I've already tapped out the kids' room. The music room, I've definitely already done everything in here. And I'm pretty sure I've done everything in Mr. Gunn's room except for that one thing that I need a ladder for, or whatever it is. Oh good, I can stock up on more cheap cigars. Yeah. Looks like I am SOL on some of this stuff. But that's okay. I made a lot of good progress, and I think I'm at a pretty good stopping point for this evening. Certainly I do need to... Yeah, I should probably just wrap this up here. But yeah, good times are had by all. West of Loathing. The most funliest game I've played in a long time. Like 3 days. Anyway, I will catch you all later.